I played The Last of Us Part 1 without using my eyeballs. I did an accessibility walkthrough when the game first came out because I figured everyone else would do a regular walkthrough and I wanted to try something new. I noticed the accessibility presets say that these options are, quote, designed for players who are blind or have low vision, and in this video, I'll test that assertion. This game has a ton of accessibility features, and there are 3 presets that will configure the settings to be geared more towards vision, hearing, or motor disabilities, or any combination thereof. For my playthrough, I toggled on the vision accessibility preset. This enables the screen reader, which is self-explanatory, but it can also do things like tell you what you picked up and how much of it.
2. Molotov. 3/4. Rag. 1. Bomb. 8. Shotgun ammo. 20. Health.
And if you swipe up on the touchpad, it'll tell you what your current status is, like whether you're standing or crouching, how much health you have, and how much ammo you have, and how it's distributed.
You are standing. Health. 95. 9mm pistol. Equipped. 10. Ammo loaded. 0. Reserve.
It enables audio cues that play depending on the situation. If you're about to be in range of a triangle prompt, it'll play this. When you actually get in range, it'll play this. And if you need to hold it instead of just pressing it, it'll play this. There are tons of these, and I've learned most of them by playing through the game with my eyeballs, but even that wasn't enough because there are just so many of them. Fortunately, there's a glossary of them in the pause menu that appears when you turn on the feature, and that combined with the built-in screen reader will tell you under what condition it will play. To navigate without eyeballs, there's a few things you'll need. Listening mode becomes advanced listening mode. This lets you scan for enemies by pressing square or items by pressing circle. The 3D audio can let you essentially see where things are around you, kind of like bats.
Like bats? Like bats.
You can tell if something is in front of you or behind you, and it works surprisingly well. To actually traverse the map, you can press L3. This will make a waypoint appear, as well as play a sound, and it turns you to face the direction you need to face in order to progress in the story. When you touch the waypoint, it plays another sound letting you know that you've made it. So it's L3, walk forward until you hear a sound, and then repeat. Pressing L3 while in advanced listening mode will let you navigate to the nearest enemy or item, but you have to press either square or circle first. There's an invisibility mode if you hold circle for a second. I haven't used that because I didn't know what it did. I mean, I saw the icon, but I wasn't sure what it meant until I read about it. After just testing it for a bit, it allows you to walk right up to an enemy from the front without being seen. I could even bump into enemies, but this would sometimes force me out of the mode, which I'm not sure if that's a glitch or not. Using that knowledge, I attempted to do a playthrough without my eyesight. But first, rules. I knew that this was going to be challenging, so I'm going to be pretty loose with the rules. The biggest one is that I can't look at the screen. I had my screen off and I only had the Twitch chat popped out, so I couldn't see my broadcast. Other than that, anything else was fair game. If it gave me the option to skip a puzzle, I skipped it. This first blind playthrough is just to see if it's possible. I'm still in the middle of it, so there's no telling how it'll go. If you want to watch my attempts to do this live, I'm live streaming all of it on my Twitch channel, which can be found in the description. So how is it going? So far, I've only made it as far as the subway station in the downtown chapter, but if I had to describe the experience in a single word, I'd say slow. I usually rush through this game when possible, only stopping to experiment with physics, but without a screen and only using the traversal assistance, it's very slow. When you navigate in advanced listening mode, you're forced to move at a snail's pace, which I think is unfair to blind people. They should be given the freedom to move as fast as anyone else. This makes going out of your way to grab items an absolute chore, and I often find myself debating whether I should explore for supplies or not just because it takes so much time, but given the difficulty of playing blind, I'll often have no other choice. I was surprised with how well navigating with L3 worked most of the time. However, it does have some drawbacks and doesn't work well in all situations. A big hurdle I had at the beginning of the game was during the chase for Robert for 2 reasons. First, L3 navigation does this when you try to get around his desk, and then this door doesn't have a prompt, so there's no audio cue. I'd eventually make it around his desk, only to be stopped by the door, but since there was no audio cue, I'd be running into the door unaware. The chase with Robert is also timed, so if you're too slow, he'll get away and the game will reset. I only managed to make it through this area by getting frustrated and spamming buttons after many attempts, because I knew something was wrong. But for a truly blind player who would be playing for the first time and not have the experience I have, I'd say this section would be impossible. L3 navigation also gets caught on corners sometimes. This is frustrating, but it's possible to tell because you won't make any footstep sound effects, so you'll know you're not walking. To fix it, I had to sidestep left or right and hope for the best. This works the majority of the time. Combat is a lot more intense when you're blind. There's something more primal about the clicker sounds and being trapped in a room with them. It's really gnarly and it freaks me out. I managed to get through the first infected encounter by getting lucky. Basically, I got in a few stealth kills before finding a steel pipe to take out the only clicker in this room. There are some accessibility features that help with combat. For example, there's an audio cue when your weapon is aimed at an enemy. The haptics go crazy too, and they both differentiate between body shots and headshots, with the latter being much more intense. I've been trying my best to conserve ammo, so I haven't used this feature too much yet. I'm sure it'll play a big role later. I still haven't beaten the game in this mode, so this video is just to give you a small update. If something happens that prevents me from finishing, or if I manage to finish, I'll give another update. Until then, see you on my Twitch channel.